It's time for Cats Talk Wednesday. Small town and big city joined forces. Vinny Hardy of Lynch, Kentucky, and Terry Brown of Louisville, Kentucky, team up to give you free-flowing, laid-back sports talk. Focus on Kentucky Wildcats, as well as pertinent information in the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball.
Y'all know how we do each and every week on Cats Talk Wednesday. That's what we do. Terry TB Brown in the building.
That's right.
Hardy. What jersey you got on, man? We both got
This is the MKG gray.
Okay.
I think there was only like a one-time thing, but I know you got the 03-04 era, right?
School Bogans.
There we go.
OKB. So yeah, had to.
He deserves to be up in the rafters, but
for sure we can. That's been ranted on before, and will be ranted on again, and deservedly so. 2,000 points, man. Come on, give that man some respect. But yes, the powers that be don't see it that way, but we do. We got that love for Keith. We're coming to y'all courtesy of the BS3 Network. You can go to bs3tvlive.com. A plethora of podcast TV. A plethora. That's my fancy vocabulary word for today. I could have just said a bunch. A plethora of shows, us included. We are there. Some of them are live. You can click the live button and watch stuff live. Click on demand. Ours are on demand. There's about 10 of them archived. Our Roy Wood Jr. episode and Greg Warren, that one just stays up. And then there's about 8 or 9 other ones that just, kind of rotate their way through. So go down there and click on anything and you missed and watch that. So
Roy doing big things, man.
He is.
He's blowing up. But yeah, it's always good to come back. No game tonight, nothing to rush off to.
First time in 3 weeks.
Yeah, man, just crazy. But I think we should pick up with the Kentucky Wildcats. I mean, I don't know if I've enjoyed a win any more than I did Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great win. It's because it's rare that Kentucky, I've talked about before, it's rare we get to play ain't nobody believed in us. That's rare. Mm-hmm. Nobody roots for Goliath, as Wilt Chamberlain said, and we generally are Goliath. But that was one of those games where, and I'm as sunshine as rainbows as anybody, but I was like, I don't know. Told the wife beforehand, like, I don't know about this one. Mm-hmm. I do my nervous cleaning. I did thorough cleaning. I went through the fridge. I shined the floors. We vacuuming, getting the couch. I'm cleaning off the mantle. Got all this stuff going on while the game's going on. And I was like, because I don't know. I saved up a bunch of stuff, cleaning the carpets, because I'm like, I need a whole bunch of stuff to do because I don't know how this one's going to go. Mm-hmm. And, man, I mean, they just jumped out. The Cats had a game plan. They executed at a very high level, mm-hmm. scoring 88 points on the road in Bud Walton Arena without a point guard.
You just got ran at Rupp and gave up 88.
Right.
Whew.
And it was just, there's so many facets to it. Antonio Reeves is going to get the headline. Mm-hmm. Obviously 37 points. I think the most points on the road in SEC under Cal, I believe.
Yeah.
We needed every one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the most since Monk went off for 47.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
Jacob Toppin has become Mr. Consistent. Showed his ball handling skills. I mean, yeah, he had 4 turnovers, but he also played like 38 minutes.
Yeah, he was guarding Black and running. Come on, yeah.
The only, how we watch a game and you kind of get a feeling how it's going to go. I think if we all admit some of those big losses, you kind of felt them. You felt uneasy kind of early on. 2015 Wisconsin game, it didn't have a feel to it. But on Saturday, it had a feel like I didn't think we were going to lose that game.
Mm-hmm.
So Reeves, Toppin, everybody contributed. I mean, CJ played 15 minutes. It was a plus 16 to lead the way in the plus minus. And he only had 2 points and 4 assists. But that just goes to show you, Chris Livingston, 1 point, but 9 rebounds and great defense.
Mm-hmm.
Even Damian Collins. Thiero scored 7 points.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was a legitimate.
Lance Ware stepping in and
boneheaded turnovers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he brought that edge.
Yeah,
and what I tweeted during the game was Arkansas punked us in Rupp Arena.
Yeah,
it was just a punking. Like that's they deboed us.
Yep.
And the Cats decided we were not going to let that happen. Give a nod to all SEC selection Oscar Tshiebwe.
Mm-hmm.
I had a nice chat conversation with our man Kevin Hale around the shots because he was against the Oscar catching old boy with the elbow. And I said, I'm okay with it. I said, you have to look at the context. The officials knew they had let stuff go on for too much. Back and forth. So I didn't think they were going to eject Oscar off that. Sometimes you have to send an elbow. I likened it to way back when John Thompson told Patrick Ewing, go get you one. If it's goaltending, go get it. Again, there's no metric for that, but there's something to watch somebody go get your shot out of the air.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's a mental component to that.
Mm-hmm.
That's that Anthony Davis factor. Like, how many shots did people not even attempt because they thought he was there? Right? We saw that.
And I can't do this because I'm not 6'11". I love it when guys like that don't even challenge, and a dude will still just throw up something quick and miss it. And he just laid back and didn't even get that one. But just the fact that he can throws your whole game off.
Right. So there's that. Also, I likened it to Shaq. And I remember my dad, when Shaq got in the NBA and blah, 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 and they were fouling him and beating him up, the whole hack of Shaq thing. And my dad said, you know how you break that up, they come in to hack you and you just flail. Because you're going to catch somebody. And once you catch them, they are, I don't know the numbers on this, but human nature is they're less likely to put their face right there again.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened on Saturday? Oscar caught old boy in the back of the head. He put the ice on the front of his head.
Yeah, he sure did.
Broke it up. And so Arkansas's game plan, and this is the fascinating thing, their game plan was not to play basketball. Their game plan was to be physical and rough up Oscar. Well, what do you do if that's negated? What's your plan B?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like the game at Tennessee, where they became more about what the officials were doing. It became more about creating contact than finishing at the rim. That's how you go 2 for 20.
Yep.
You're looking for contact. You're making it. You're leaning. Just play ball.
Just make the shot. Focus on finishing. And
right. And so once you saw their players lose their composure and the coach lost his composure, that was a wrap.
He was inconsolable. I don't know how many times. A couple of times, I looked like he's about to have an aneurysm. He was over there hands to his head. I was like, man, come on, Muss.
Yeah, and it's like, if that's your plan, that's a bad plan, right? There was I will say there was a moment I was like, this can get a little bit hairy when the Kentucky lead went from 10 to 5 and we called timeout in the second half, about 5 minutes left. And my concern was these dudes are tired.
Yeah.
Everybody has stepped up. They're physically exhausted. How do we cross the finish line? Mm-hmm. And then I think Reeves hit a shot. And then it was one of Toppin's, threes at the buzzer. I was like, okay. Dagger. Then it gets back out to 10. right? And you and I talk about that game pressure. There's a difference between a 9-point lead and a 10-point lead. There's just mentally,
psychologically, yes,
a difference to that. And they got it back out to 10. That was Arkansas's last best shot.
And Arkansas's game plan being what it was, you notice, and full disclosure, I was out and about Saturday, didn't get to watch it live. Homeboy on YouTube puts the games up almost instantly. And so I turned off Twitter, turned off all my notifications, and thought still I can slide home and not know. But I got the Athletic, and the Athletic notification popped up, and I saw the score. I went, oh, dog. So I ended up seeing the score, and then so I went into it already knowing the outcome. But when Oscar and Mitchell got tangled up, when Oscar throws the elbow, this is the first time we've seen Oscar react. Just like, Shaq reacted on Brad Miller and Ostertag or whatever, but a lot of times Shaq didn't react. Oscar reacts, is clapping, walking towards Mitchell. Don't even try to step to Oscar at all. He's back over there. Nobody's even holding him back because he's not even attempting to do anything. So that told you all you kind of need to know about him. The game plan is to rough up Oscar. Oh, Oscar elbowed me in my head. I'm just going to stand over here like Artest kind of going to the scores table. He was just over there. He didn't want no parts of that. He didn't care what the game plan was. He didn't try to fight. Debo Davis or whatever dude that got kicked out was trying to fight. Nick Smith was talking. Mitchell was just standing over there wanting it all to be over.
I'm telling you, an elbow to the side of the head changes things. Like, I don't know what the numbers, and I tweeted this out during the game. It was clear that this was not going to be a statistically pretty game, no matter who won. The only numbers you could look at were who had the most points at the end of the game. Yeah. Sometimes you just have games like that. And I know I come off old man about the metrics. And I don't know if you heard Bomani Jones and Dominique Foxworth last Friday talk about it, right? It's the difference between Peyton Manning in the regular season and Peyton Manning in the postseason. Because what happens in the postseason? Things change. One, you're playing better teams.
Right.
Two, officials swallow their whistle a little bit. Three, there's just, oh no, it's the postseason. So everything gets a little bit tighter, a little bit this, a little bit that. And so the point I was making is, yes, all these numbers are fantastic. They're great in the macro, right? You want to take the threes, you want to do this, you want to do that. You and I have been watching basketball for a long time through different eras, right? What happens when it's postseason time is who can go get a bucket when the defenses are better, when the officials aren't in bailout mode.
Yeah.
Can you go get a bucket? And sometimes it's not even, can you shoot a three? Because when Steph stepped it up, he was hitting some of those threes, but it would just go get me a bucket. How many of those shots when he went to sleep on the Celtics was just, I'm going to get a bucket? And beyond any other sport, one guy can do that. One person can do that on a basketball court, right? Mm-hmm. That's how we remember people. That's how we remember the Jeff Shepherds, right? Go get it. We need a bucket. We talked a couple of weeks when we talked to different basketball coaches from your area. What happens the postseason? We need go get a bucket. I ain't got no play. You go get a bucket, right? Mm-hmm. And that's when the metrics go out the window. And so without a point guard, dog tired, right? Reeves only hit 2 threes.
That's insane. On 17 shots. And
And so there was a lot of the bad long twos. And look, sometimes you just need a shot. If they run you off the 3-point line and the middle is packed, the lane is packed, where else are you supposed to shoot? Mid-range. I get the numbers will tell you that anything outside of 5 feet, I'm telling you, come NBA playoff time, we're just a few weeks away. You get a shot wherever you can get a shot. Period.
Absolutely.
In the NCAA tournament, right? Who can go get a shot? We all remember Kemba Walker in that run. I know we do as Kentucky fans, right?
He did whatever he wanted to do. He did whatever he wanted to do.
I'm getting to this spot. It's not a 3. I'm getting to this spot. And I think that's the nuance that I think some of the numbers miss is come postseason, things just change, man. They just do. You know, you look at baseball, the regular season to the postseason. You're getting you're getting those top 3 starters, right? Strike zone's a little bit different, a little bit cooler in the air. Things change.
Yeah.
You know, and in the NFL, all these teams that are pass happy, it's tough to do in the elements. It's tough to win those games in December.
Football like a rock.
We've seen Peyton Manning look great in the dome. Have to go to Foxborough, don't look so great. Have to go to Mile High before he played for the Denver the Broncos. It changes, right? These pass happy offenses, they don't work.
Yeah.
Even Patrick Mahomes this past year in the Super Bowl, it wasn't bombs away. It wasn't bombs away when he beat my 49ers. I mean, yeah, there was the 1 3rd and long. You know, Tyreek down there somewhere, but that's not, you know.
That's right. That's right.
And so what I got into it with some of the numbers, folks, and this is all I'm saying. Yes, for a large sample size, your numbers are accurate. I'm not fighting that. Right. You want to shoot the 3s. You want to do all these other kind of things. What I'm saying is in the micro, in the moment, in this, we have to win this game. It ain't about numbers. It's about how tough are you. And as we talked about with Sarah Sanchez a couple weeks ago, it's like the numbers can take you so far. And if it was just about the numbers, Kentucky would not be paying Cal $9 million a year. You could just have a dude with a slide rule and a calculator tell you what but that they're still people. They are still, and anytime you have to deal with people, you can't just be about numbers. And I don't just mean that for sports. I mean that for anything. Every job is like, you gotta make more widgets. You gotta, well, you know, if you're going for your review and your boss is just like, well, your production was this, it's more than that.
Those moments aren't going anywhere. There's those in that moment when you need a bucket, when you need to step it. That's as much as these numbers can quantify and measure and specify and, you know, hone in on. In that moment, that ain't going anywhere. And a lot of times, I don't know the numbers of how many times that in the moment will defy all of your numbers. But I bet it's a good chance that the numbers did not show that this would be the result. Oh, I did not see this pinch hitter that bats 196 hitting a home run in the bottom of the 12th. You know,
that's why we play the game, right? Like you play the percentages, but the games aren't played on paper. You know, that's one of those things that there's so much you can't account for. And I get it. Like I said, you want your best shooter shooting more shots.
The numbers don't say Shaq's going to hit both of these free throws, but sometimes he does. You know?
Right. I mean, so look, again, I think the numbers are a tool, but that's all they are. You can't be beholden to the numbers.
As he always said, I'll make them when I need to. So,
and he did for the most part, you know. but I'm very happy with the win. We talked about this on Spaces. You know, what grade would you give Coach Cal the regular season? And I said B.
It was
Because after South Carolina,
yeah.
after Georgia, this thing could have gone a bunch of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
It could have gone, well, it could have gone really, really bad.
Yeah.
You know, he could have thrown Severe under the bus. He could have whatever, but they rallied. And now here we are with, I think I saw the third most quad one wins.
Right. Got all racked those up in what, like a week and a half?
Week and a half, went from like 1 to 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And the team's not that bad.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what strikes me is, particularly when it comes to the SEC, this was not a vintage Kentucky year that we're going to feel warm and fuzzy about,
Mm-hmm.
but still to finish third, right?
12-6. When you started 1-3,
yeah,
they went 11-3 down the stretch after that in the conference.
Right. That's not bad, you know. And so to still finish in the the AP top 23, just kind of rolling out of bed.
Swept Tennessee. That's always going to be dear to my heart. So, you know.
Right. You know, you dog walk Louisville. That we got to talk about that too. So I'm okay with it. As I try to say, look, our mind wants this is the best, this is the worst. Sometimes you just get a year. You know, I've said that before. Sometimes you just get hey, this is just a year. This, you know, sometimes you just get, you know, from November to March, this is what you get.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best, not the worst, just kind of a season.
Mm-hmm.
And still going into the tournament with both tournaments with a chance to win both.
Yeah.
You know, I think the Cats will get to Sunday in the SEC. We know the outcome doesn't matter.
Right.
But get to the Sunday in the SEC, and then we'll look at the brackets. And, you know, if this team can get to the second weekend, I consider that a positive.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm okay with mediocrity or whatever the buzzword is, but I understand where this team was to where they got. Right. Sometimes it's a journey.
Yeah, a lot of salvaging along the way, and
dealing with all the injuries.
Back. Pulling stuff back from going over the cliff, and and like you said, they might not, like you said, they might get to Sunday, might not win, like you say, the 50th, 11th, 12th SEC tournament title. And for this team this year, that don't even really matter. Just get as healthy as possible. No matter what you do here in Nashville, if you can get Case and Wallace back healthy, if Severe is able to be back, which Severe didn't quit the team, Severe was still cheering and supporting down there in Fayetteville. For everybody that said homie was MIA and all. Anyway, but get as healthy as possible between, if you make a run in Nashville, fine. Not saying that we accept losing and accept mediocrity, but if you don't add another SEC tournament trophy to the billion in the trophy case, it's okay this year. Get healthy. If it means another day of rest for CJ, if it means another day of healing up for Kaysen, that kind of carries a little more weight going into the big tournament, going into Des Moines or Orlando or Denver, wherever they go.
It's okay. Of course, I wanted to see the team win all the time.
Yeah,
but they don't win all the time,
right?
So and it's really okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've gone from being dead and buried about a month ago to being legitimate. You know,
a tough out.
Second weekend team. It's
going
to be a tough out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So So again, if you're going to criticize Cal for what happened particularly against South Carolina at home, and we did on this show, then you have to tip your hat and say, hey, he turned this around.
Yeah, he sure did. Sure did. Just real quick, I had it pulled up. Lil always just mention, we don't talk a lot of high school, but it's the state tournament, so I always just like to mention all the teams that do get to go and do get to make it. And it started today. The girls are playing, starting at Rupp Arena, and Sacred Heart is everybody's favorite to win it. They've won the past two, and they dog walked Lawrence County today. And Owensboro Catholic beat Bowling Green. I'll try to get it again. But Sacred Heart, our girl, our homegirl, friend of the show, Anna Trullo, went to Sacred Heart. I remember teasing her for tweeting out something about how they beat Seneca pretty bad one time. And I was like, why you got to do TB like that? Why you got to do them like that? Because, y'all both my people from Louisville, and it was Louisville on Louisville crime. And I'm like, oh. But Sacred Heart is on their way to maybe having a three-peat. I'll pull up the other teams that are in it here in a little bit. But we saw just before we came on, our girl Anna at BBN Tonight had been doing her thing there, and we had a lot of those folks on the show. And she put out where she's going to have to be moving on because due to budget cuts, that position she has is not going to be able to continue. So just wanted to give our thoughts and well wishes to her for whatever she does. She's going to crush it. She's got all the talent in the world, and everybody's seen that. And that was a perfect fit for her, man. She came back to Kentucky. She was over in West Virginia, came back to the Bluegrass, and that was going to be like a stay here, finish your career type of thing. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. So just want to definitely get our thoughts and well wishes out to Anna as she ponders her next move.
Absolutely. So Kentucky basketball, we touched on Kentucky basketball. We're going to talk about the NBA that is becoming more and more interesting every day.
It is. And I wonder about your Lakers. I want to know if what you thought, if LeBron stayed healthy, can they still make a run without him? Do you still think that they're just Kentucky's a maybe second weekend team, or the Lakers a second round? Do they had that big comeback. The Mavericks are killing them. They rally, they win. I still, I got thoughts on Kyrie with Dallas. Anyway, we ain't even got to that. We ain't even talked about KD and Phoenix. Is LeBron gonna come back and be healthy? Can AD carry the load? Or are you just kind of like, I don't really know about this group, this roster? I get your thoughts on your Lakers first.
Oh, Jared Vanderbilt is the difference maker. That's one of those low key moves that So Anthony Davis last 5 games, 30 points, 39, 38, 28, 30, 22 rebounds, 8, 5, 19, 15, 2 blocks, 6, 2 assists, 5 like he's becoming that dude. If he and I said this, after the championship, if he can position himself to be the one, and he has the talent. Yeah. Don't get it twisted. Whatever Shaq said, he fell out with, his biggest thing is staying healthy and being there. But when he's on, he's on. So if AD can become the one that we believe he can be, and LeBron can come back and be the 2, I like our chances. Simply because, is there anybody at the top of the Western Conference that you are confident in?
We got to talk about your boy Ja as well. I know the 901 is your people. We got to talk about because he down there acting a pure fool. But Sacramento's up there, Denver's up there. Phoenix is up there.
So, do you have faith in Denver? I do not.
They have what second rounds farther they've ever gotten? Did they make the conference finals once? I mean,
when did they play the Lakers? Was that conference final? I can't. But my point, and we need to talk about as we look at these teams in the West, the conversation around Jokic. So there's a lot of conversation about Jokic. One, he's not a stat pattern. He's really, really good.
Yeah, good.
He's unconventional from what we're used to seeing out of that position, but he's elite. I think what is hitting a lot of basketball folks differently is the NBA MVP is essentially who's that dude. And so with Jokic, he could very well be a 3-time MVP, but still be like your 4th or 5th overall pick if you were drafting all the players in the league.
Mm-hmm.
What hits, and you and I think I tweeted this at you, the issue is with the NBA MVP, the list of 3-time winners is very, very short. 3-time winners, Bird, Magic, Moses Malone. LeBron's got 4. MJ and Bill Russell have 5. Kareem's got 6. So right now, out of multiple winners, only Steve Nash and to this point, Jokic are the only ones to not even make the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And we can talk about team sports all we want to, right? We can, the team around him. Okay, cool. Still true, the only 2-time MVPs to not make it to the NBA finals. So if Jokic gets number 3, he will be the only 3-time winner to not only not go to the finals, every other winner was the MVP of a finals. And so as a basketball person, that feels weird. It just feels weird. And I get it. Like, he's great. It's phenomenal. All this kind of stuff. It just feels weird to have a 3-time MVP not hit those notes. We know it's a regular season award, but still.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear about the people around him because, again, as I tweeted, if we hold up LeBron taking Boobie Gibson and Zerondis Ilgauskas and Ederson Varejao and Sasha Pavlovich to the NBA Finals against Tim Duncan and the Dynasty Spurs and losing, if we hold that against him, and we do, so-and-so never lost a finals or whatever, we do hold it against him, then Jokic got to catch it, man.
Yeah.
And if he makes it through never leading his team to the finals, that's got to be a knock. If you're the only 3-time MVP to not do that, I think we have a conversation.
Because how valuable really are you?
Right.
That's
and so again, I don't think he's stat padding. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's great. But as we talked about earlier, come playoff time, things are different. Because, and again, I'm always quoting Bomani Jones, because to be that dude in the playoffs, there's going to be, if your team's going to win a championship, you have got to have, I would say, 5 to 6 games in the playoffs where you just say, I got this.
Where you on a level by yourself that nobody else can get to.
I got this. That's the difference, because all those other multi MVP people have done that. Magic did it in year 1.
Yeah.
No Kareem, I got this.
Yeah.
You need 40, you got it. Just walk into the gym, I'm getting 40 tonight, and we win it. That is what we ask for of our basketball stars, right? To be able to do that. That's where we start to get that separation. Between the elite, who we always, the folks we put in the top 10 to 15, and the other really good players. Right? There's that dude was nice, this dude was good, but when the chips were down, can this dude go get it?
Yeah.
You knew Kareem could do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bill Russell may not get you 40, but he gonna get you, 20 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists. Like
Right.
he gonna do it, right?
Mm-hmm. For his non-offensive self, he still
Right.
went.
Larry Bird, I hate to tell young people, Larry Bird could go get you buckets. He's like, oh, you need 40? I'm getting 40 in the Garden. I'm getting 40 in the Forum. I'm getting 40 in the Omni. I'm getting 40 at Madison Square Garden. I'm getting 40 at the Spectrum. I'm getting 40 at the Palace at Auburn Hills. You need 40? I got it. That's that separation, right? And I think as a basketball, it's going to feel weird. It does feel. Look, I'm a homer. I'm an admitted homer. It feels weird that Jokic is going to end up with 3, and Shaq, who we all say is probably the most dominant force we've seen recently, is only going to have 1. And I know you can go year by year with Shaq, and the people he lost out to deserved, right? It just still feels weird that Jokic is going to have more MVPs than Shaq and Kobe combined. Going to have more than Dirk Nowitzki.
But Dirk just got 1.
He's got the 1, and that was team no help.
Yeah.
Once they trade away Steve Nash, do you know how many All-Stars he played with after that in Dallas?
Was Sean Marion down there? That was it? Was he down there?
But he wasn't an All-Star when he played.
Oh,
he only played with another All-Star.
Oh, no, he was way
Josh
back.
Howard.
1.
Remember Josh Howard?
Wake Forest Josh Howard.
That Josh Howard. Right? Was the only other same All-Star he had. And you remember we used to dog Dirk because he couldn't do it, but that's when the West was stacked. Like, what's Dirk going to do against Kobe and Powell and against what they were doing in San Antonio?
Yeah.
Back during that stretch when the Lakers and the Spurs combined for 10 championships in 50 years. Like, what are you supposed to do, right? So
your boy Powell just got his jersey retired, so that was cool,
Absolutely. So back to this year, do you have faith in the Nuggets? I do not. Do you have faith in the Kings? Love them. I don't. The Grizzlies.
Man. Down there in your old home place.
Hey, I'm glad Ja's getting help.
Yeah.
Let me just say that because he's going down that road that's not good. All the money, all the fame, not important. Get right. So the Grizzlies, you get to 4, and you got the Suns.
Yeah.
With KD, that's scary.
Yeah, it is.
But the question is, for the Suns, can KD do it? Like, he's still good, right? But he ain't what he was 10 years ago.
Was he 34?
Yeah. And he's and we're expecting that grind of the playoffs on that Achilles. He's not quite the same.
He's already exceeded my expectations. To this point, and now we talking about another upcoming wear and tear. So that's a lot.
And can Chris Paul stay healthy?
Right.
He's the conductor of all that.
Devin Booker will pull a groin in a minute too.
Right.
I mean, we love him too. He's not street clothes Booker like AD is.
He's not AD, but
he'll strain a groin or a hammy, and
then you got the Mavericks. And look, any team with Kyrie,
I can't believe they did that, man. That's a big risk.
Because when it comes down to it, both those dudes need the ball in their hands, and it doesn't work.
And it's honeymoonish right now, and they already had some losses they should have taken. 2 months from now, when the real Kyrie has been in that facility and with this squad and doing the same stuff he's been doing at every other stop, I mean, I just think they're gonna regret this. It sounded good to them, but Why is he going to change because he's in Dallas? He been in Boston. He left. Won a title in Cleveland. Was acting up. I got to get away from LeBron. Yeah. What?
So you look all that, and you're like the Mavericks, the Warriors. I mean, they just look banged up. They got a lot of miles on them.
Yeah, can't win on the road to save their life, and they're not going to have home court. So
the Timberwolves. No, I'm not putting any faith in the Timberwolves at 7. 8, the Clippers. Now good and well. I ain't saying nothing good about the Clippers. And this is as good as this right now, as we laugh at the Clippers, is as good as it's been. That's crazy.
And they thought getting Russ was a good idea.
So. Yeah, well, this is the Clippers. And then my Lakers are 9 right now. So if AD can ball out, because they're 2 games, really, they're 2 games behind the Mavericks for 5th. The Lakers could put together a mini run and end up not with home court advantage, but not even out of the play-in game.
Right.
And if you do that, AD's balling, and then you bring Bron back. So, you're the if you get up to the 6, that's where the Grizzlies are right now.
Yeah.
So in a 7-game series, Bron come back even 80%. The Lakers can't beat the Grizzlies or maybe the Kings or even the Warriors. Come on now. So, yeah, I'm excited. I said all that to say I'm excited. I don't know what's going to happen in the East, but the West is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Because no of those teams at the top, nobody believes in them. It's wide open. It's like the NCAA tournament.
And the Lakers are going to be Lakers like Kentucky. Going to be a tough out. It'll be a lower seed, then a higher seed, whichever, what I'm trying to say. Right. The higher, better record team won't be thrilled to see coming.
No, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about my Lakers. Ask me about my Lakers. Ask me about my Cats, too.
Let me finish out this little Sweet 16 real quick. Sacred Heart destroyed Lawrence County. Mercer County plays George Rogers Clark. Frederick Douglass plays North Laurel. North Laurel is from the 13th region, where that's my region. Their boys and girls both made it. So Harlan County and Harlan weren't able to get out of the 13th region. But congratulations to Derek Cacao, who was the 13th region coach of the year. Congratulations also off topic to Larry Kirksey, who we had on a few months ago, who was going to the Kentucky Pro Football Hall of Fame. So congratulations to those two as well. Knott County Central plays Ashland Blazer. Bethlehem versus McCracken County. Mercy versus Cooper. Simon Kenton versus Henderson County. And that rounds it out. Owensboro Catholic and Sacred Heart both won today. They will both play Friday. So we'll do the boys next week. But North Laurel, girls and boys, both are going to state. Reed Shepherd is going to be in Rupp Arena. So BBN will get to see him.
Not his first time in Rupp Arena, right?
No, it is not. It is not. So just a little quick shout out to the high schoolers doing their thing out there. We had an era end, and we got a guest. We got a couple guests coming on too. Hadn't introduced them. Got Brian Jones, friend of the show, who was out there in Kansas City. He came on with us last year after Kentucky did their thing in Fog Allen, and then Kansas went ahead and won the title. He's coming off of a Chiefs championship.
Yeah,
Jayhawks are defending champs. We'll talk all things Kansas with him. He keeps up with all the NBA and NFL like us as well. So we'll talk that with Brian Jones. And then Christy Allen Edmonds is coming up about the last 20 or 30 minutes of the show. She's from Kentucky. Some of y'all may have heard her. I think she did a little bit of Religiously Kentucky or something with Jay Hayes at one point a while back. But she lives in Arkansas. And I'm pretty sure this was her first UK game ever, Saturday in Fayetteville. So she decided to come on and talk about her experiences and everything that she got to do and how much fun it was. And so we'll just get the Bud Walton perspective. And we already talked about what a great win it was, but we can talk about it more. And we'll have somebody who was in the house to talk about it with. So Christy will be coming on as well. So we're going to have a couple fun guests. I got to ask you this because you've been in Iowa as everybody knows, we've had a couple bowl games with Kentucky and Iowa. So we talked a lot of Kirk Ferentz. We talked a lot of Brian Ferentz. We talked a lot of Caitlin Clark because, Kentucky played the Iowa women's team. We talked about potential matchup in this year's tournament. I think they played in softball. All this stuff since you moved up there. But how do the folks up there feel about Fran McCaffrey? Because he's up there staring down folks and getting kicked out, and he'll show his behind every now and then as well. He stared that ref down the other day and was kind of in the news, in the Twitter cycle for a minute. What's everybody think about him? Because he's been up there a long time, just like Ferentz has. What's everybody's thoughts about old Fran?
Well, the issue is it's I've talked to a friend of the show, Adam Jacoby, about it. It's the same thing with what's going on with Ferentz is Iowa fans as a whole are really adverse to change. And so you have a coach that's doing pretty good, and I would say a lot of times punching above his weight class. And so they're okay because the unknown, who's going to come to Iowa, right? Even though, we remember AC Earl and some of those teams, they've got a little bit, BJ Armstrong, right? They've got a little bit of history, but I think it's that fear of you run this guy off and then what? Even more so than Kentucky, right? It's how we think about Stoops. Like, okay, 7-5, that was disappointing, but that ain't, you got to get up out of here. Right. And so I think they tolerate his antics to a certain extent because, they're pretty good. But you brought up Caitlin Clark. She a baller, man.
She is. We got our guest backstage coming to us from the Green Room, the BS3 Network Green Room, friend of the show, In the Zone with Brian Jones, the Wednesday Run Back, the Zone Read blog. He's also does his thing on Rave on Sports for KU, just like we've done for Kentucky with Brittany Harris and James Clark. He's got several championship trophies, just collecting them out there right now. From the basketball standpoint, the Super Bowl, we're talking about our guy Brian Jones. B. Jones, what's up, man? Oh,
hey, how's it going? How you doing? It's good to be a champion, man.
I see the John Thompson. Got it. Oh,
what's something light? Nothing heavy.
I see you,
man. Welcome to the show.
The John
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
The John Thompson Chiefs towel. I see you.
Yeah. Yo, yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that's the only way to make an entrance. We ain't mad at you for that, man. We ain't mad at you.
Yeah, we still celebrate a little, man. The draft is coming up. It'll be here next month in Kansas City, and then business is still going on, but we'll really get down to business after the draft and get ready to run it back next year.
So I gotta ask, Patrick Mahomes, 5 years in, and he's the dude. I know you see me on Twitter because a lot of Kentucky fans are Cincinnati fans, right? And it's a lot of them like, Joe Burrow, this. I'm like, look, the line starts behind Patrick Mahomes.
I'm glad you said that.
Your dude can do, I've seen what this dude can do at the high, like the line starts behind Patrick Mahomes. So what is it like just watching him do his thing and just week after week after week?
I can tell you this from growing up in Kansas City, being a Chiefs fan, from seeing Elvis Gerbach to going back to Steve DeBerg and Dave Craig, Trent Green, Tyler Thigpen and the pistol offense, that garbage.
Rich Gannon and those
Rich
guys.
Gannon. From, you name it, I've seen it. This guy is a godsend. It is like, it's indescribable, man. And we actually had his father in a Twitter space last week, Pat Mahomes Sr., a.k.a. Silky P. He's in there, and he's been prepping him for this literally his whole life. Like, you see how he is at the podium, how he is with the press and everything else. His dad said he started prepping him for this when he was 6 years old. Got him a table, set him down. This is how you answer this. This is how you do that. This is how you take care of different things. He grew up in professional locker rooms. Right. He's been around people like David Ortiz and Mike Piazza and Derek Jeter. And he's taken different pieces of them and put it together. And this is what you see now. Now, no offense to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, he's that guy. Unfortunately, here in Kansas City this year, like Suki P said, we had to go smoke on that Joe Burrow. I mean, it's not personal,
right?
But I mean, it is what it is. And I've always said this: as long as Andy Reid is on the sidelines, is 15, is upright at one airhead drive, it's him and it's everybody else.
And we've talked about this before. You know, we've been watching football for a long time, but the list of quarterbacks that you were just like, it ain't over till it's over. It's a short list. And usually it takes 10, 12 seasons of doing it. But Mahomes been on that list for me as a 49ers fan. He's been on that list for a while.
Better than 5.
Where it's like, even when you're watching the Super Bowl, the Eagles got that lead. I'm like, that's not enough points. Like, you have not put enough points on the board to make this a thing yet. And slowly but surely, and we've talked about it before too, this Super Bowl, nothing over 20 yards. It was just execution, 20 yards from the line of scrimmage, and that's how you get it done.
Exactly. And like at halftime, we were down 10 points, and people were like, well, Patrick is hurt. I said, it's a longer halftime. It's not a regular 12-minute halftime where they're going to go in, do what they got to do. It's a 33-minute halftime. That's 33 minutes for the training staff to get to them, work on them. Are you okay? Tape up, do this, do that. Then you get to come out and warm up. That's another 8, 9, 10 minutes right there. He's got 43 minutes of lead time. So that's why when we walked back after second half, people were like, oh, he's okay. Yeah, he's going to be okay. So we win this game, man. We were down 10 points to the 49ers with 6.5 minutes to go. Oh, the game's over. What happened? They won the game. We got down 17-0 to the Los Angeles Raiders at home. Derek Carr and Devontae Adams light the defense up. It was a 17-0. Cheering on the sidelines. Yeah, we got 17 at home.
That was my question. That was my question.
We was down 10-0. We was down 10-0 at the Chargers Thursday night. Oh, just nervous. Got these guys. What happened? What game?
You hit
it's literally you saw last year. You saw 2 years ago in the playoffs. You left Patrick Mahomes 13 seconds to get upfield against the number 1 overall defense.
What he did against Buffalo was the most amazing thing I have ever seen, because I didn't think they had enough time.
Left that man 13 seconds. He got upfield, tied the game, got the ball back against the number 1 overall defense, went right back down the field and won the game. It's literally like a situation where you better have him down 24, honestly. But then again, I take that back because the Houston Texans were 24-0 with 10:59 to go in a half 3 years ago, and they got smoked on the 51-7 run. It's like I can't even put in the word. It's amazing, man. So, like, you sit back and you watch this, and you're like, when he gets down, you're down 7-0. You're like, okay, not worried. 10-0, not worried. 17, okay, maybe. 24, 3 years ago he did it. Why can't he do it now? Well, yes. It's unbelievable, man.
You just answered my question. I was wondering what the fan base was like, because it seems like he doesn't get comfortable until he's down double digits. And I'm wondering what's that's like for you all. We're like, but I guess you just gotten used to the fact that y'all don't even worry about it now because he doesn't worry about it.
It's half and half. You have half the fan base that gets worried. Oh my God, we're gonna lose a game. I'm with the camp. I'm just like, okay, it's 10 points. Okay, we've seen this movie before. If he can get a field in 13 seconds, you go back to the AFC Championship game when he kicked the ball to Sky Moore. I was like, that was a mistake. He got to midfield. I said, that's an even bigger mistake. I said, you just let Patrick Mahomes 40 seconds to basically get 15 yards.
Yeah,
let this man 40 seconds to get 15. Ball game, man. Let's go.
And it's like he plays better when his uniform is dirty. Most quarterbacks, you got to keep them nice and clean, but he plays he elevates his game. He's got a little dirt on him. When
his dad said that too. His dad said the trash talking when he gets hit, he feeds off of that. You're right. When he gets down, it's just like, okay, I'm down. Okay, now the game started. Now I can go do this.
And he is faster than people ever want to give him credit for. I mean, the bum wheel, but when he absolutely had to have that scramble, shoom, right up the gut for 45 yards.
Yes.
What is it? Is it his first 10 yards, his first 20 yards is pretty much as fast as anybody. But I mean, you don't maybe look at him and think, oh, this dude can really blaze. But the boy can move. I mean,
if he gets in the open field, it's over.
Yeah, he can move.
I think it's because he looks it looks awkward because he's kind of upright a little bit. It doesn't look smooth. It doesn't look like Lamar. But you're right. He's faster than you give credit for.
Yeah,
fan. So
if he's in open field, if he's in open field and nobody's within 5 yards of him, it's like, okay, you can read the back of his jersey right quick because he's gone.
Yeah, and he'll turn the corner, stick the ball out, and pick up first downs that you don't think he's gonna get. I mean, hey, and just
it's unbelievable, man. And I tell Chiefs fans this all the time: cherish every moment of this. And when you don't remember, go back to the days of Elvis Garbine. Go remember Indianapolis with Steve Bono, 3 picks, Lynn Elliott, 3 missed field goals, 10-7. Remember Elvis Garbine coming back from a broken collarbone when Rich Gannon went 8-0 and you lost 14-10 in the playoffs. Remember the no punt game with Trent Green. We didn't have a defense worth nothing and your quarterback couldn't do nothing about it. You lost 38-31. Cherish every moment of this.
And I'm glad you're saying that, Brian, because I think as sports fans and people in general, we see the good times and we think, oh, this is going to go on forever and ever.
Wow.
We've had Meredith that covers Alabama sports, and she's talked about trying to tell her kids it's great now, but it ain't always like this. Like you could end up like the Cowboys and not make a conference championship game in a number. I got to, Vinny.
Yeah,
we've been reliving my Niners hurting, so I got to do that.
You can go back to, like I said, Bama fans. Think back to the end of the Gene Stallings era.
Yeah,
think back to that. Think back to the Dave Shula days, where you was winning 3-4 games.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, every year you're in championship contention, you're in playoff contention. Nick's name is doing this, this, and this. Better cherish it because one day Nick gonna wake up one day and be like, "This NIL's killing me. I ain't won this. I'm tired of doing that." You're gonna call a press conference and then,
or flip it to your other championship winning school, those Jayhawks. I think that fans that are, if you're not involved with a blue blood, people think it's easy.
Yeah,
right?
always.
They think, oh, all you got to do is just show up. And, V and I have these discussions. The reason Kansas is in it every single year, it's a lot of work to be in it every single year. And I don't think people on the outside understand, like, it's easy for Gonzaga to show up late, right? 15 years ago, nobody knew about Gonzaga. Kansas has been Kansas since Naismith showed up with the rules of basketball, right? So, in Kentucky the same way. Like, we're not catching anybody off guard, but it's hard year in, year out. And Kansas had that stretch. They lost 3 games, but they're right back to being in contention to get at least to a Final Four, maybe a repeat.
I was never worried. I was one of the few people that was never worried. People had to understand who's at the helm. Who is leading this team is Bill Self. The man's won 17 conference championships in 20 years. He's won 36 of the 46 Big 12 conference tournament games in Big 12 history. 5 Final Fours, 2 championships. You lost 3 games. I'm not worried about that. It happens. It wasn't going to be easy coming into this year because you lost 75% of your scoring. You lost, a guy that was in the National Player of the Year contention. You lost two lottery picks in Christian Brown and Ochai Agbaji. You lost a guy McCormick who should have been the Final Four MOP. You lost your 6-man at Remy Martin. You lost bench production. And everybody was like, well, they're going to do this. Well, Texas this. What about Texas? Okay, they beat the last game. Texas could have won the Big 12, could have won a share. What happened to TCU? Didn't happen. Well, Baylor came to us and was up 13 points at halftime.
Yeah.
And lost by 16.
Yeah,
It's
I watched that
coaching.
game.
It's talent and your players play a part in it. It starts at the top. When you have a coach like Bill Self, you never worry. Never worry.
We've been talking about that with Kentucky fans. Is we let off the show. You don't luck into the Hall of Fame as a coach.
Right.
Like there are, I think, 7 active since Jay Wright retired. There's 7 active Hall of Fame coaches, and there's 300 Division I teams. Like, ain't everybody just getting up in there? And these dudes don't forget how to coach. It's not like your players leave, you come back like, I don't know what I'm doing. They know what they're doing. The track record, like you're saying, of doing it for 20 years, that's got to mean something. Even in the what have you done for me lately, that it still means something.
It does mean it. It means a lot. And you have people, some KU fans talking about, well, we're going to be, this is during a 3-game losers rate. Well, we're going to be a 3 seed. We're not going to play in Kansas City. They're going to send us out east. I said, stay calm. It'd be okay. We still going to win the Big 12. You don't know what's going to happen. K-State this, Tech. I said, stay calm. We got this. We're going to spin out of it. We went to Iowa State on a Saturday morning, 11 a.m. They sleepwalked their way to the first half. They wound up getting stomped. They came back at me. We're not going to win the Big 12. Calm down. You keep forgetting we're one team. You got 2 other teams that's behind us still got to play games too. They're not going to win this. We got this. We beat K-State. I said the Big 12's locked up. Texas and Baylor, I'm not worried about that. Baylor came in, was up 13, lost by 16. After that, all of it went, it's white noise at that point. Mm-hmm. You have to remember who your coach is and what he's done. Bill Self has been through this before. Bill Self has seen Baylor. He's seen Texas. He's seen Texas Tech, the Texas Tech team that made the Final Four and made the championship game. Guess what happened those years? Did Texas Tech win the Big 12? No, they didn't. Wow, I wonder why. Look who's leading you. That's what it comes down to.
Everybody want to just be in a rush to panic. Who's the rival out there that the Kansas fans hate the most in the Big 12? Is it K-State? Is it Texas?
Yeah, we hate them.
Who's it?
Interlopers. The interlopers from upstate. We don't like them. No, we don't. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, that's a rivalry. Iowa State has always given us, a competitive game every now and then. Texas, for all the talent they have, has never measured up to us. Yeah, I said it, horns down. Not worried about y'all. Texas Tech, okay, maybe every now and then. TCU has always given us trouble, but I wouldn't consider them a rival. It's always been them chumps from upstate off K177 who think they're better than us.
Wow.
We got Keontae Johnson. We got Jerome Tang. Yeah, you're going to be a 3 seed. We're a 1. You finished in 4th place in the Big 12. We finished first. Who owns who now?
And
get
that's
out of
the
here.
point I make when it comes to the conference stuff. I'm not hearing any trash talk from these other SEC teams. Because what happens, same thing happens to Kansas, right? Kansas State might go 2-2 for a stretch, right? Yeah. And they're like, oh, we done caught up. And then you look and it's like, Kansas got 120 wins and K-State's got like 25. It's not a rivalry. Stop trying to push this on me. And that's what happens, right? It's the same thing I said at the beginning. Teams that have been good since the 30s and 40s before we were allowed to play, right? And have adapted, right? People are like, well, Kentucky didn't have black players. I'm aware of what happened. But there's a reason we've been good. Integration, segregation, 3-point shot, one and done, is because you have good coaches. That's how you get it done.
You have Adolph Rupp. You had Joe B. Hall. You've had Tubby Smith. You got John Calipari, although I don't know about now. But you've had John Calipari. You've had winning coaches with a championship pedigree.
Rick
Who've
Pitino.
won championships, who've won multiple championships, who have won conference championships and conference tournaments, who've won big games early in the season, who've won big tournament games when it came down to it. You can go back and look at 1998 against Utah. They were down at halftime. Rick Majerus is going to get his first championship. Tubby Smith must have looked at them and was like, what?
I rewatched that game, Vinny. We were down 10 points with 15 minutes and change.
And people said the game was over.
And won by 10 points, and they weren't even fouling at the end.
Right.
Like just that swing like that, like, oh, okay. You know. But no, I'm right there with you. I don't pay attention to these teams that don't have anything in their hardware case.
Yeah.
We've
I don't either.
Have you really?
Right. Yeah, that's
like the Auburn.
And I
fans,
argue with K-State fans online all the time. I have to remind them, we have 64 regular season conference championships. You have 10. We've won the Big 12 conference tournament since what? This is year 27. We've won the Big 12 conference tournament 13 times. You've never made the championship game.
He having the same conversation.
About what?
He having the same conversations we have, TV.
Because
quarterfinals, and then it was like, oh, we had a good season. Now, time for the NIT and the NCAA. You ain't never made a championship game. You ain't cut down no nets. You better than us. Man, get out of here.
But that's how those Tennessee fans, because there was a tweet going around, Tennessee, this is as good as it's ever been for Tennessee.
Yeah,
what do we have to show for it? And then a Tennessee fan said, we won an SEC tournament championship. That's your response to a Kentucky fan.
That's their first one this century.
But that's your big claim to fame is you won a tournament championship.
You won a conference tournament. Wow. You don't get to hang a banner for that. See those little things in referendum that says NCAA title in the year next to them? And there's another one next to it, the NCAA title in the year next to it. And the one next to it that says NCAA title in the year next to it. And then you got like a whole stream of them there on the backside.
Yeah.
Then turn around and it says SEC champion. And there's year next to it. And the year next to it. And they're a little bit skinnier because there's a lot more than that. There's a whole streamline of that. Yeah, if you walk in Bowling Thompson in Nashville, what do you see? The lights. Shut up. Stop it. Come on. Let's stop. Come on.
I'm gonna tell them real quick because I go down to Thompson Bowling a lot. I live, not too far from UT. Nothing orange about me, but I'm not too far from Knoxville. So when the Cats come to town, you go, and they always say their big ceremonies, big halftimes, bringing Allen Houston back, bringing Bernard King back, bringing Candace Parker back, retiring whoever's jersey. 99 times out of 100, that's going to be when Kentucky's in town. The only one that wasn't was Dale Ellis. They did that for a Vanderbilt game. I guess he hated Vanderbilt more than Kentucky, but they always honoring somebody when Kentucky comes to town. So Ray Mears, who was coaching back in the 70s and 60s when Adolph Rupp was there, was getting up in years and was in bad health. And so they wheeled him out to half court. And they said, Ray Mears.
They wheeled him out.
They wheeled him out. They
wheeled the man out to half court.
They wheeled him out in a wheelchair to half court. And so the play-by-play guy, Bob Kesseling, the voice of the Vols, is on the mic with the PA. And we're honoring Ray Mears because, they did those little orange candy stripe warm-ups like Indiana did. And they talked about all that and all the marketing he did. And they said in 30 career games against the Cats. I'm like, uh-oh. So I'm already doing the math in my head. In 30, because, they picked the 30-game window in 30 games against the Cats.
That's career, but let's shorten it down.
Ray Mears went. So I'm like, well, in order for them to even announce this, he must have had a winning record against us. He went 16-14 against us. Maybe he went 17-13. And there ain't no way he went 18-12 against us in 30. In 30 career games against the Cats, Coach Mears went 15-15. I fell out laughing.
Why would you make that perfect knowledge?
Because it wasn't 14-16, so they could say they broke even. He broke even against the Cats in 30 career. I said, you got to be kidding me. He didn't even go 16-14, but they're revering him for going 500.
For being mediocre?
Yes.
Middle of the road? You get to get moved up to half court and get lauded for being middle. That's like Kansas State calling Jim Woolridge back. He's won one of the few. He's won one of the 3 games at Kansas since 1990. Jim Woolridge. What?
Exactly.
What?
but that's what happens.
That's
you
how they
know,
do.
so I laugh it off, man.
We're rewarding coaches for being mid and mediocre now. Congratulate!
Yeah.
Wow, that's
because Tennessee fans will tell you they've beaten Kentucky more than anybody else. What they won't tell you is
7 times.
how many championships do you have? That's I was supposed to always answer that response.
Yeah,
We've beaten you more times. How many rings do you have? And I mean
That is-
championship rings, not a conference tournament.
one Elite Eight.
no Final Fours.
You don't get a ring for that. You don't get a ring.
No.
Yeah, okay. Elite Eight, you don't get a ring for that. Okay.
No
Elite
Final
Eight, we
Fours.
run you out of town. Hey, let Bill Self get a bunch of Elite Eights. There's gonna be some people hemming and hawing. You know,
Yeah.
Elite
You can
Eight.
win the next game. You didn't get to the Final Four.
Right.
Yes, we all been there, but
Mm-hmm. Well, get your thoughts. Gotta get your thoughts real quick because an era ended today. Jim Boeheim the era is over. It was a prickly exit for a prickly dude. It's about apropos, but we're gonna see.
Yeah, that's basically it. And if it wasn't for Jerry McNamara, Hakeem Work, and Carmelo Anthony and Kansas going 12 for 30 from the free throw line and him hitting 7 threes in the first half, he would have never won a championship. But hey, that's just me. I'm just, I'm putting it out there. Let's put it out there.
Oh man, exactly.
He never said what was that? Well, take it back. 96. He went to the Final Four and they lost. They lose championship game that year, I think. Yeah, they did lose championship. They lost to Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
She lost in 96. And then, like I said, if one for you getting hot, if one for Jared McNamara lighting up the world and Carmelo Anthony and Hakeem Ward playing defense, and if we didn't miss 16 free throws, shout out to Jeff Graves for missing 12 of those free throws, by the way. One for that, you wouldn't win no championship. Would you be in the Hall of Fame right now? Probably not. But hey, congratulations. Enjoy your retirement.
Jeff Gray gets the PJ Washington treatment for free throws for Kansas.
Oh
man! Oh my God! And I go back and look at that game. I look at the numbers. I'm like, we went 12 for 30. If we hit 3 more free throws, we probably win that game.
Yeah, unbelievable. I didn't mean to bring up that bad memory.
I mean, that's not a bad memory. Bradley, that's a bad memory. Bucknell, that's a bad memory. Northern Iowa's a really bad memory.
Right.
Hey, they still celebrating it here, man. I went and saw Northern Iowa play Drake, and Northern Iowa fans, they still had the Ali Farouk Mamesh, that shot he hit
Oh
on the
my
shirt.
God. Oh man! Wow!
Again,
if I never had to hear that name again in my life. Woo!
But those losses are easier to take because you know you're gonna come right back. Like Kentucky fans are in their feelings because of St. Peter's. I'm like, you know we're gonna come right back. Like, what are we even doing here? Yes, you're gonna have an embarrassing loss. It happens in a one-loss tournament. Weird things happen, right? But if you're a blue blood, you're gonna be okay. This is one thing too, Brian. I want to get your thoughts on the NCAA tournament. This whole Cinderella thing. It's the biggest con job out there. We make believe that Cinderella is going to do all this, but when you look, 8 schools got like 70% of the championships. It's not as open as you might think it is. It's probably more closed than football is, to be honest.
It is. I mean, it's just like this year. You're going to have an 8 or 9 seed or a double-digit seed that's going to come in and win a couple of games, and CBS and TNT will follow them around. You'll see the in and out angles and the locker room and the cheering and the fans and everything else. And then next thing you know, they're gonna want to play in Kentucky, Kansas, or a 1 or 2 seed that's gonna stop them in the submission. They'll be crying in their towels. Oh my God, the season's over. You won't go nowhere, no way. Stop it. We know this. Stop. You had a nice run. It's cute. It's nice for television. You're gonna win something? No. Stop. No. No,
I'm loving it, man.
Every year.
Every year it happens. Just like St. Peter's when they lost, when they lost, and people were zooming in on them, and oh my God, and their coach is going to Seton Hall, and this is the end of the line. Hey man, you guys lucked up and lucky you got as far as you did. Congratulations, you made your school some money, you made your coach a lot of money. You guys got some national exposure. Have we heard about St. Peter's this year? Anybody?
No.
No national sports, no ESPN, no CBS, no national game. No. Oh, okay. Same thing.
Like Florida Gulf Coast a few years ago.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was like 10 years ago. I saw that video. I was like, golly, I'm getting old. Like,
Yeah. Dunk University, GCFU. Have you heard about them since? No.
Mm-hmm.
Conference tournament? No. Have they even made the NCAAs? No. Oh,
no, because they're
happens every year. Like I said,
USC.
easy come, easy go. It's a nice story, but no, nobody cares.
Mm-hmm. Their coach went to USC, and that was the end of that. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what exactly. Again, just like with St. Peter's.
Yeah.
He was a springboard. Went to Seton Hall, got paid. Andy Enfield was there coaching them, and we're dunking on guys. And as soon as you got eliminated, sunny California, here I come.
That's right. That's right.
Fight.
This is why we had to get you on, man. The first Chiefs Super Bowl, I don't know if you know him, we got John Dixon, who writes for Arrowhead Pride for I think SB Nation, but he was a older dude that he was like a kid when y'all won with Lynn Dawson and them. So I was like, I want to get somebody that was around for the first one. So we had him on. He talked about, I was a youngster and now I remember this one. We done had you on a couple times. I don't know if you know Al High. Yeah. We had Al on a few times, talk some Kansas City talk. So love just getting that Kansas City vibe from y'all and y'all collecting chips left and right now here lately. Y'all on a good run of titles. You throwing the Royals title from 2015, 2016 in the World Series. So y'all been winning some hardware lately. So it's always cool to get that perspective from you, the perspective from Al and have you on. And definitely got to do it again, man. You basking in the glow, and rightfully so. I don't blame you at all. And like you said, cherish it, because TB will tell you, I kind of fussed at the Kentucky fans because, look, I'm born in 77, didn't see the first title till 96, so 18 years old before they won their first one. Then you had the 97 runner-up to Arizona, 98, win it again, like we talked about. But you go from 98 to 2012, a little drought, been a little while. A lot of fans, when they won in 2012, oh, that's number 8. The banner just got hung and was swaying and rough. Let's go get 9. I said, we better enjoy number 8. We better enjoy number 8. And here we are 11 years later, having another one. So enjoy this stuff, because before you know it, a decade is gone by, and you wish you had enjoyed it more in the moment. I'm with you 100%, man.
In Kansas fans saying the same thing. We won in 2008. We're going to come back in 2009. And I kept trying to tell people, you don't know when, because we won in 2008. The last time we won it was 20 years previously in 88.
Yeah.
So we went from 88 to 2008. That was a 20-year span. And we made the Final Four in 2012. We lost you guys in the championship game. We made it in 2016, lost in the semifinals. We just won it last year, and now we got a chance to go back-to-back this year.
Right.
I try to tell people, cherish this.
Yes, sir.
Because the day will come one of these days, just like Nick Saban, like I said, Nick Saban. The day will come, Bill Self's going to wake up one day and be like, you know what? I'm ready to ride into the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's going to happen? There won't be any more parties in Kansas City. There won't be any more parties. Senior night won't feel as special because Bill's not there to shake their hand, and the tournament runs, and then you see him on stage winning the championship, and he's smiling in the parades. Cherish it now, because literally in the blink of an eye, it'll be all gone.
That's it.
And then you fall back to the pack, and you see everybody else, hopefully not Kansas State, but you see everybody else start winning championships and start winning this stuff, and then you're like, dang, why can't it be us? Well, it was us. We had our time. Now it's somebody else. Now it's time for somebody else to have theirs.
Exactly. Man, can't thank you enough, B. Jones.
Yes, sir. We'll see you on the Twitter streets.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. As always.
Man, appreciate you. We'll get you back on here again sometime, man. Can't thank
As always, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
All right, now.
Brian Jones. Follow him at B. Jones Sports. Always bringing it, man. That's a good brother right there.
Absolutely.
Our second guest is Backstage TV, and she is coming to us from Arkansas, from Kentucky, was in the house Saturday watching the Cats handle business in Bud Walton. Christy Allen Edmonds on Twitter at Critty_in blue. Christy, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Y'all don't laugh at my headphones. I can't find my microphone, so I'm having to use my daughter's her gaming headphones.
All right.
Sorry.
It's all good.
How are y'all?
We can't complain.
Good.
We've been talking about this win Saturday, and couldn't wait to have you on because you were in the building for that win.
Oh my gosh, it was unbelievable.
So you from Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken, you from Louisville, like
Mm-hmm. I was born in Louisville.
Okay.
And then as a baby was moved down to way South Arkansas. So I've lived in Arkansas my whole life, spent summers in Kentucky, back and forth. I have tons of family that live in Kentucky all over. So I was just born into it. It's in my DNA.
Mm-hmm. And moving to South Arkansas didn't change anything.
Not even a little bit. There are pictures of me when I'm little wearing Kentucky t-shirts. So
that is awesome. So how far are you from Fayetteville?
I'm about 5 hours south of Fayetteville. I am almost in Louisiana. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And I went to college in I went to Louisiana Tech and cheered at Louisiana Tech.
What?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. But I'm old, so that was a long time ago.
You in old company, Christy. So,
mm-hmm.
So tell us about. I think I saw your Facebook post where you had got tickets to the game. This is your first Kentucky game in person?
It was my first men's basketball game in person. Yes, we had been to a girls' game 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's been a while. We're huge Kiki fans, and so we went to see them when they played Fayetteville when Kiki was still here. But I have a cousin who is a PA for the Razorbacks, and he gets tickets for games, and so he gifted us his tickets for this game.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah.
So the excitement and the build up to where you're probably wishing your weekends away, wishing the month away. I can't wait to get to this day.
Yeah.
When the Cats are coming. So you get up Saturday morning and make that drive. You go Friday night. Just tell us.
We went Friday night. I'm a teacher, so after school we went up Friday night. And I was so excited. I couldn't wait. And then we got there, and I was in my feelings for the whole game. I did not like being surrounded by all Razorback fans. I did not like them trash talking my boys. I got real protective. So it was kind of a mixed experience. Like, I think the next game that I go to is going to have to be in Rupp. It's going to have to be where I'm surrounded by Kentucky fans. Because Arkansas, it was a heated environment. It was very hostile from the very beginning. It was a hostile game.
And I think TV didn't do it justice for us.
No. It was chippy. It was tons of trash talk. It was tons of them getting in our faces, us getting in their faces, them trying to, goad us into fighting. And it just... because they wanted it so badly. They needed the win just as badly as we did. So, they were fighting for it just as hard as we were.
And it seemed like the players and the coaches kind of ramped up what the fans were doing.
They did.
It was a pressure cooker of sorts.
It 100%. And that's exactly the way that it felt. I mean, I think we counted maybe 8 blue T-shirts in all at the game. The rest of it was just solid. It was their whiteout game. So it was just solid white everywhere. And then we were kind of on the lower level up at the top. And there were a few Kentucky fans down at the bottom behind the bench. And that was it. Everybody else was there for Arkansas.
So you're watching the game. And Kentucky's kind of in control, but you're still nervous.
Oh, super nervous.
But once it goes into the second half, and Vinny and I talked about this, the point for me where I was like, uh-oh, that 10-point lead goes to 5,
Mm-hmm.
and we take a timeout, and I'm like, man, the boys are tired, right? You can just see it on
Mm-hmm.
them. They are gutting it out. You're there. Were you? I'm asking a question badly. Are you sitting there during the timeout like, oh, this can go? Because the crowd seemed to get back into it. The players seem to get back into it. And it's like, this thing can go a certain way.
I was the most nervous every single time they would do the hog call, every time they would call the hogs. Like, I was afraid that it was going to get in our guys' head. You know, when the crowd gets so amped up and there's so many of them, and I was afraid that it was going to get in our heads and they were going to kind of get drowned out and disappear. And this team has a tendency to do that. They've been a real psychological team this whole season. So that scared me. Every single time they would do that, I got nervous. But I've never seen this particular team fight as hard as they did. I mean, it was never once did they even act like they were going to back down. They did not give up. They fought, and the more that they called the hogs, like the more you could see our guys just getting just gritty and just fighting it out and getting physical and really just, it was amazing. It was amazing to watch this particular team do that, because we haven't seen that very much from them this year. Without Kaysen, without Severe, you know, they were already down before they ever came out. So yeah, I was nervous, but at the same time, actually being there in person and seeing their faces, I knew we were going to be fine. I knew we had it. I wasn't worried.
How, which, you know, Kentucky led for most of the game. Arkansas would make their runs. The big, you know, tomahawk dunk that Cancel hit,
Mm-hmm.
called timeout, that cut it to 28-24. I'm like, they're doing all this flurrying, and they're still down. They're still down. Was it still loud in there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kentucky quieted the crowd a lot, and on TV they would shush every time Kentucky would answer. It would mute it. I'm sure it wasn't, you know, as crazy because they didn't have the lead. They even mentioned it on the broadcast, but according to you, it was still pretty loud in there, even though they couldn't just explode because Kentucky didn't let that happen. It was
just such an amped atmosphere. I mean, they were so ready for this game. I mean, they wait for Kentucky. I mean, I don't think y'all understand the hatred that Arkansas has for Kentucky. Like, I got yelled at so many times during the game just for having on Kentucky blue. I mean, I expect that. It's fine. It's just the whole atmosphere was just electric. I don't know any other way to explain it. They never calmed down. The crowd never backed down. I mean, that's just how it was. I don't know.
So when the game ends, and the Cats are obviously victorious,
we got out of there. We got out of there as fast as we could. We called the lift and we were out of there. I was not going to stick around. And I'm not an Arkansas fan. I love Coach Musselman. I think he is one of the best coaching hires in the last 10 years. What he has done for Arkansas and what he has brought to this state, he's amazing. He is exactly what that program needed. It was one of the smartest coaching decisions I've ever seen. So I'm not an Arkansas fan, but at the same time, anybody that's playing Kentucky, I'm, obviously not going to be a fan of. So I was a little frustrated for Arkansas because it seemed like there were so many open shots that they didn't take. They have several players that have gorgeous 3-point shots. They were open all throughout the game and they just weren't taking the shots. I don't know what was going on with that. It was kind of and it's really hard to see what's going on the floor when you've got a million fans standing up in front of you, and you're having to watch it on the little TV in front of you. So I don't know what was going on with Arkansas. I don't know what y'all saw. I don't know how it looked from the couch.
Well, it just looks like they got frustrated early because they couldn't get to Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
And there was more talking to the officials than it was anything else. And I think that's what kind of played into the Cats with that comfortable. I'm saying comfortable. It wasn't exactly.
Yeah, it was never comfortable.
Not I shouldn't say comfortable, but that where they had the lead the whole game basically.
Yeah.
I think the game they mentioned on the broadcast, and I guess Cal mentioned it in lead up and after the game, but the game plan was kind of to pack it in and let them shoot threes, and if they beat you hitting the three, well, you just kind of tip your cap because Kentucky was kind of making a concerted effort not to let them have as many layups and dunks as they had in Rupp, because they shot like 90% because all they got was layups and dunks because Kentucky didn't get in front of anybody and cut off any drives. So they were they even played some 2-3 zone for and even the man-to-man they backed off of them so much it kind of looked like a zone. So they were like, here, y'all can have these threes, hit them fine. If not, we'll probably win. And that's what happened. Arkansas didn't hit enough consistently to do anything. And like you said, there a lot that they passed up and didn't even.
They just passed it up is what it looked like from where I was sitting. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's right there. We're rolling the red carpet out for you. Why are you not, taking advantage of it? I will say that Antonio Reeves shocked the hell out of me. He was amazing. I mean, I don't know where that game has been for this whole season, but he had himself a game at Arkansas. I mean, he just exploded. And I was really proud of Oscar. Well, I've been proud of Oscar this whole season because he's gotten a lot more aggressive. And I like that. I like Oscar when he's got some fight in him and when he doesn't just let his game speak for itself. Like last year, it seems like he just kind of let the court speak for itself. And this year he's got a voice and he's fighting back and being more physical and aggressive. And that's kind of how he was. Arkansas kept trying to poke him and kind of get him to get angry and actually get really physical. I mean, I really think their goal was to get him completely thrown out of the game, which is that's what most want to happen with Oscar. But man, he was phenomenal. It was a beautiful thing to watch.
It really was. It really was. And I'm like you, where you said you're not an Arkansas fan, but ever since they've, you said that you were old, we're kind of old. Ever since they came into the SEC, back in '92, and the Nolan Richardson and Rick Pitino and Kentucky and Arkansas, and it was that collision course they were on. I always respected them. I always liked Nolan Richardson. When they weren't playing Kentucky, I always I like this squad. Now, they
are
like you. I respected them ever since they've come into the SEC. So I understand what you're saying. In your neck of the woods in Arkansas, is it still all Hogs fans or are there LSU fans because you're right there by Louisiana, or is it a mix?
It's a mix. It's a mix. It's not 50-50. It is mostly Razorback fans, but there are a lot of LSU fans. Now, I'm very different when it comes to LSU. If LSU got kicked out of the SEC tomorrow, I would celebrate like nobody's business. LSU is the only team in the SEC that I just cannot get on board with at all. I'll take Tennessee over LSU, and that's saying something because I don't like Tennessee either.
LSU to you is like Tennessee to me.
I cannot. I'm just I can't get on board with LSU. I just can't.
You're right by the border of Louisiana. I'm living in Tennessee. I understand.
Now Tennessee would be my second choice. Let's get rid of LSU and then we'll get rid of Tennessee after that.
I understand. So, just a wonderful Saturday.
Yep.
Did you you got out of your arena quick. Did you hang out in Fayetteville and get something to eat, or you just get out of Fayetteville as quick as possible?
Oh no, we got out of town. We were done. We were done with that. We were ready to get home. We got the win. That's all I cared about. I didn't stick around. You know, the team leaves so fast. Like, you know, there wasn't any point to stick around. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we got what we came for, so I was happy. I think we'll see them again, though. I think.
Definitely could. Definitely could. And now that I was going to flip and see because the SEC tournament started.
Oh, yeah, it's already started. I've been watching it on my phone.
Who is it? Georgia or who is it? Who we got?
It's Ole Miss in South Carolina right now.
There we go. Let me flip up there.
Ole Miss is up 1 at the half. It's 30-29.
29 Ole Miss. And then
I picked South Carolina. I picked South Carolina to win.
Okay. All right.
But I also picked LSU to win. And that may be a stretch, but I did pick them to win.
Mm-hmm. It's bottom feeder night. You know, SEC tournament. Teams getting it started. So
I love them all. March Madness is my high holy season of the year. It's what I look forward to every year. So I don't care who's playing. I'm watching.
Yeah, all basketball fans, and here you get to just feast and just overdose on basketball all day and all night, and whatever conference is on, little bitty Northeast Conference, MAC, Big West, whoever it is.
And I already have all of those brackets printed out. I print out every conference and I do all of their brackets, and then I do my picks for Selection Sunday. And last year I got all but 3 right for Selection Sunday.
Every single conference tournament bracket.
And I've done that for the last 5 years. So I've got a box and I keep all of them so I can go back and see who won whose conference last year and who's in it this year and are they gonna, so
we found Joey Lenardi's replacement right here.
I'm not that good.
I mean, you got Ohio Valley, Missouri Valley.
Every single one of them. Yep.
Unbelievable.
And I color code them. They're all color coded with their logos and everything. And then I make a sheet that has all of the conference winners on it. And then I go through and see what teams were in their playoffs and in their brackets. And I have to fill in all the, who else will be selected on Selection Sunday. I'll look back at their wins and who they played, and it's a whole process. It's a whole obsessive process. I'm the only girl that I know that does this.
That is amazing. If I'm a kid in Miss Esmond's class right now, can I just hint about ESPN that's on and you'll flip on the games and we get out of work for the day?
Well, we don't get out of work, but they can have it secretly on there. I don't say anything if I walk by their Chromebooks and they just happen to have a game on.
Oh.
We can listen to it in the background while we're doing our essays.
There you go. See, Miss Evans.
Here we go.
And they all know I'm a Kentucky fan. They all make fun of me and they love it.
Well, I was just so glad that you were able, wanted to come on, able to get up there to the game.
Oh, yeah.
In person. 2, want to spend time on your Wednesday evening to come on here and talk about the experience you had up there at Bud Walton. And I said, I got to just shoot Christy a message.
Well, Vinny, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of y'all's show. So it was no question, anytime.
Well, certainly appreciate it. Have to get you on again.
Get me on after Selection Sunday and see if I got all my picks.
We can do that too.
Yeah, next week we'll be going through the brackets.
Yeah.
Our bracket challenge spectacular.
Hey, I may get them all this year. That's my goal. I may pick all of them.
You're on the clock, Joey Brackets.
That's right. And Christy, we can't thank you enough for taking the time.
Of course.
Like TV said, if you hop back on next week and show us your bracket, and that is fascinating that you got every conference for the past 5 years.
Every single one.
That is amazing.
I'll show you. If I come back on, I'll show you my box where I have all of them all saved.
There we go.
Yeah.
We were talking about doing a bracket spectacular next week and having a bunch of folks hop on and give us the rundown of the bracket. So we're extending that formal invitation to you right now.
All right. I'm there. Vinny, you just let me know when and where.
We can do it. We can do it. So have a good rest of your evening. Have a good day in class tomorrow.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
So glad you got to have that fun experience, even though it was a little nerve-wracking in Bud Walton, but you walked out of there with a W. So,
it was worth it. It was worth it.
Thank you so much. And
thanks, guys. Go Cats.
Absolutely. Thanks, Christy.
Christy Allen Edmonds at Critty_in_blue. Down there holding it down in Arkansas, almost Louisiana, repping the Cats. BBN is everywhere, so everybody already knows this. But she got to go to Bud Walton. So amazing. First UK game in person, and that's the game she got to watch. That was a good one. Amazing. Yes, sir.
Shout out to friend of the show. Gotta give our man Tobin Anderson some love. Fairleigh Dickinson winning the NEC title game and going to the big dance.
Ooh, man, that is awesome.
The team was 4-22 last season. He's got them dancing in year one. So friend of the show is taking his team to the tournament.
That is amazing. Congrats to Coach Anderson. It was a lot of fun when you got him on here. And he came on and chopped it up with us. And now,
gave us some Hubie Brown stories.
Yeah,
absolutely. So
and now he's dancing with FDU. So that's awesome.
Dancing.
Man, it's Jim Rome talk about that jungle karma. Some people come on and then next thing you know, good stuff happens. We got a little Cats Talk Wednesday something. Tobin Anderson is in the dance. Larry Kirksey is going to the Kentucky Pro Football Hall of Fame. Derek Akal won 13th region coach of the year. So, maybe is there a little Cats Talk Wednesday?
Hey, Roy Wood is shining, Going back, Lee Steinberg told us that Patrick Mahomes was going to be that dude.
Yeah.
And yay, verily it came to pass. So, absolutely. It's that Cats Talk. It's our magic touch there.
That's right, man. That's right. Well, we appreciate everybody that wants to come on and takes the time to come on and wants to listen and takes the time to listen, and we enjoy trying to bring it to you. And y'all can listen wherever you get your podcasts. You can go to BS3 TV Live and watch because it goes up on the Roku. You got your Roku device. Add that channel and then click on demand. You scroll down and you'll find us.
There we are.
There's a plethora of other podcasts as well if you like different topics and different stuff. But you can watch us each and every week, and we definitely appreciate it, man. TBU come on here and bring knowledge each and every week, and we have a lot of fun doing this. So bracket spectacular next week because it is January, February, Kentucky. January, February, Kentucky.
But look, man, I'm supposed to be having some meetings in my office on the 16th and 17th. I'm like, hey, I know there's Iowa, man. This is all going to be on contingent on when Kentucky's playing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, already.
They're like, for real? I'm like, absolutely for real.
That's right. Let them know early.
I'm blocking out. I'm blocking it out. I may even take a whole day because if they play in the middle of the day, I'm going to need time to process the win. I don't need to know if I need to come back in the office.
Don't pencil me in for nothing.
Yeah. We're going to do it. No, we not do it. Look, man. Yeah. Because, last year was my first year during the tournament. I know that the, St. Peter's, but the SEC tournament, I'm like, I like to watch these games. So I don't know what plans you're trying to make, but it's basketball time. Like, I get it's Iowa. But the funny thing is, it's also college wrestling time. Because I went to a sports bar on Saturday, had basketball on one set of TVs and Big Ten wrestling championships on the other. And I'm like,
Wow.
oh, that's right. This Iowa is different. It's wrestling time. Yeah.
Wow, that's man, that's
And people was watching it.
That's a new thing, man. That
is different here. It is really.
Because back in the day, you know how we used to never see college baseball on anything. I mean, even College World Series, you know, they wouldn't show baseball on Sports Center. It could be two ranked teams. They wouldn't say a word. And that's kind of where I still got college wrestling on. I didn't even know it was a thing, but it's up there on the sports bar up in Iowa.
Hey, 24 championships, man. Yeah, that's what they do.
So, you know, Big Ten wrestling, it just means more up there to them. You know,
yes, yeah.
To paraphrase from the SEC, I got it.
Yeah,
this
is where it is between Iowa, Oklahoma State, and Iowa State. That's like 60 championships among them all. It's ridiculous.
So the same thing in that sport, just a couple.
Yeah, the haves have it, the have-nots don't. Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah. So good stuff, man. Another good show, TV, man. Appreciate you. That's right.
It's Kentucky. Right. That's what I let you know, man. We'll be all right. We're gonna get that win, that NCAA tournament win. So we can start with this is gonna be 5 years. Look, stop.
Yeah,
it's one of those things that sounds true, but you have to account for the COVID year when there was no tournament. Like you have to take that into consideration. Because that team was going to win a bunch of games.
They were poised and ready, man.
And I know the numbers said they weren't very good. I know what I saw 5 years ago today, or 3 years ago today, when they beat Florida at Florida. I know what I saw.
And no disrespect to Brian Jones, but a lot of Kansas fans out there think that they would have won it that year, and they got every right to hunker down on that. We think Kentucky would have made a run and would have been right there at the end too, and nobody will ever know.
14 with nothing else.
Yeah, nobody will ever know, but we can hunker down on our belief just like they can for that season.
It's a big what if, but shout out to our guests. We do it every week. We're gonna do it next week. Have a few folks on talk about their brackets.
Sounds good. Y'all holler back at us next week. Appreciate you. Thanks to Brian Jones, Christy Edmonds, Terry TV Brown. This is Vinny Hardy. I'm going to play this outro, and we'll see y'all next week.